Thanks, Asaph.
My pleasure.
That was Asaph playing Chariots of Fire, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Very inspiring for the morning.
You know,
Very nice, Asaph.
you were also gonna play Secret Agent Man.
Yes, I'm going to.
All right. Yep. Well,
There it
welcome
is.
to Wake Up Missoula. I'm Scott Remf.
I'm Josh Menny.
All right, our little house band, Asaph Adonai.
Asaph
Hi.
Adonai.
Good morning, all.
And a big thing in the news right now is the weather. Starting at 12 o'clock noon today, that there is a flood watch in effect for 24 hours. And the current temperature is 54 degrees, and it is raining outside. Of course,
Yeah,
you can always just take a look outside, and it's raining. So be aware that there's a 100% chance of rain through the weekend. It should start clearing up by Sunday, but then rain should start picking up again later that week. But yeah, it's gonna be raining for a little while.
Yeah. It's kind of nice. I like it. It's cooler temperatures.
Yeah, and but the weather's going to be in the high 60s, low 70s throughout the week, so it's still going to be nice and pretty temperate. And if we do take a look at outside at our little eye cam, you can see how the whole entire ground on Spruce and Higgins is all wet. People driving through, and it's pretty much a precursor to what's to come later tonight.
And as you can tell, if you can see, they widened the bike lanes a little bit and put in some. They redid the bike lanes, as you can see.
When did they do that?
Just recently, when they were re-chipping the road, I think last week. So it's kind of fits in with our focus inward growth policy in terms of transportation, and we'll be talking about that a little bit later with our planning board meeting.
Yep.
And also we have an interview with Laval Means from the Missoula department. Yes, Laval Means.
Yep. And, for more information about what's happening here in Missoula and on our show, you can go to our Facebook page, Wake Up Missoula, and you can also check us out on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure we even have a Google+.
Yeah, we have a Google Plus in there.
And if you're interested in being on our show, you can email us at MCAT@gmail.com, or you can just email us up the general inbox at MCAT at MCAT.org, or you can call us at 542-6228 if you are interested in talking about your event, your organization, and also anybody. And moving on from there, there's also MCAT shoots a lot of organizations events as well, which span from lectures, high school concerts and all that stuff, which is what I'm going to be showing today. And the first one is the Sentinel High School concert. The next one is the Mansfield Hope and Fight for Freedom, and that's mostly about human trafficking. It's a series that's been going on. We're going to be talking about part 8 tonight. And then there's the Center Southwest Asia Conference. So they're talking about mostly the Middle East, parts of Asia, the countries over there, and how culture is different and what they're going through right now. It's about modern culture. And all this stuff is happening tonight. And I have a little short video basically highlighting all of what's going to be on tonight on MCAT. So here you go, check it out.
Where a vulnerable target is, whether it's a child or an adult. Anybody on the street anyone with a substance abuse, anyone who may be struggling with a mental illness or have a cognitive delay is more vulnerable. We talked about our reservations over the last couple of days. We have some really strong tribal communities in Montana, and we also have on our reservations devastatingly severe poverty.
Per se, why should it be interpreted as against Israel? It's against a system, against occupation, against injustice, against unfairness, against bad treatment, against brutality against the Palestinians. It's not against Israel. I'm Israeli. I respect many things about Israel. I'm telling you, many Arabs in Israel don't want to leave Israel. 99% of the Arabs who live in Israel have good conditions of living, social, etc., etc.
And that's all going to be on tonight. So you can see all those programs. They're all brand spanking new.
Pretty good mix of stuff.
Great mix of stuff. Most big lectures, but then you have music stuff. And yeah, it just closed on me. Anyways, that's pretty much it what I have for Megs. I have a couple art videos I'll show in a little bit, but I think I'm going to start off, do my other segment, Hallmark or Bullmark.
All right.
Get that over with.
Yeah, let's get it over with.
All right, are you guys ready? What about you, Asaph? Are you ready to guess
I'm
right
ready.
or wrong?
I'm ready.
He's
All right.
ready.
All right. Okay. There's two movies I'm going to be talking about,
Okay.
and you guys have to determine whether it's a Hallmark original movie or is a complete Bullmark.
Okay.
So, here's the first one. With Valentine's Day approaching, Eve, a workaholic TV talk show host with a record of failed relationships, is worried she'll never find true love. But when a mysterious stranger shows up on the set claiming to work for Cupid, Eve has no idea her love life is about to get an arrow right through the heart. To help boost the show's low ratings, Eve's handsome producer Rick, so there's obviously something going to go on with Rick and the Eve or whatever, but anyways, books Cupid as a love expert to do a segment called Eve's Week of Love. Eve reluctantly takes Vernon, the Cupid guy, up on his very unusual offer. If she helps one couple fall in love before Valentine's Day, her own true love will be revealed. That's the deal. Eve begins enthusiastically setting up couples, but through a series of matchmaking mishaps, her deadline is soon up. With Cupid's arrow, will Cupid's arrow hit its mark, or is Eve destined to be alone forever? Is this a real Hallmark original movie? Actually, the title of this movie it's simply Cupid. I'll start with Asaph. Hey Asaph, is this a real Hallmark original movie, or is it complete?
Nah, I'm gonna go complete.
Why do you think that?
I don't know. It
Doesn't sound real?
no.
All right, what do you think, Josh?
I think it's Bull because the way you read it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it is a completely real movie, and Jamie Kennedy is the guy who plays the Cupid. It's totally like the Dwayne Johnson playing the Tooth Fairy kind of esque type
Oh, I see.
movies. But yeah, it's total Hallmark original movie, hardcore.
Wow.
Okay, so this next one, when Lauren is assigned to ghostwrite a cookbook for a TV chef, she uncovers that he is not the bad boy that he pretends to be for his fans. So he's a bad boy of cooking shows. Lauren falls for him and is able to convince him to show his roots. But the TV network has other plans, and the two of them must work to save their jobs and their relationships. Boom. And it's called Recipe for Love. Is this a Hallmark original movie or is this complete? I'll start with you, Josh. What do you think, Josh?
I'm gonna say it's a real movie.
What do you think, Asaph?
I'm gonna go the opposite direction.
You can say,
Yeah.
you think it's Bull?
Yes.
Well, both of these movies were actually real. These are actual real Hallmark movies, and I didn't try too hard in terms of making my own story. So I just kind of looked through the Hallmark website and just kind of copied and pasted, and then I just kind of reworded
So
it.
there's a synopsis for every movie on the Hallmark website. Wow.
And there's a whole list starting with A to Z,
Wow.
and it's ridiculous.
I gotta check this out.
Yeah, the synopsis alone are the best part of it. Find true love, and it's something about true love and all that stuff. And,
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
yeah. So when we come back, we're gonna talk to Lavelle.
Yes.
But first, I'm going to show a little art video by our very own Rick Phillips, and I believe he went to the Missoula Art Museum for this one. I'll just double check. Oh yeah, this is from the Missoula Art Museum, and this is what's happening at the MAM here in Missoula. So here's a little snippet of it. And there you go. There's a little taste of what we have at the Missoula Art Museum, and it's a lot of sewn stuff, very like knitted and quilted type sections as well. But today we're talking about some planning board stuff, and could you kind of like summarize in a couple words about what you're going to be talking about today, just to give people a little taste?
Sure. So basically, what they're talking about is the Focus Inward Growth Policy, and it's a growth policy listening session. If I actually could grab this because it's the same topic. It's basically topic-based listening sessions, and the Missoula Development Services is putting on these listening sessions with different groups throughout the community, and
inviting the community to come join and listen up.
Yeah.
Do they have these every Wednesday?
And give their feedback. No, it's going on different times. There's I can actually pull up the. Let's see here. Here we go. It's happening different times. The dates and locations are Wednesday, August 20th. So that already happened. That was at the Missoula Public Library.
So the next meeting. So let's just talk about the next one.
The next meeting is September 9th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the Lifelong Learning Center. And then the one after that is Wednesday, September 10th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the Southgate Mall Community Room. And basically this is an opportunity for community members to share ideas on types of challenges that the community faces and possible solutions from the neighborhood perspective. Yeah.
And you can find out information like this by going to the City of Missoula's website, www.ci.missoula.mt.us. Basically, if you think about it, is city, CI, Missoula, Montana, United States.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And it's basically neighborhood growth policy listening sessions slated for August and September.
Yep. All this great information on the City of Missoula's website, all the meetings, all this stuff that's happening. And speaking of which, Josh has the last meeting that they talked about. So you have the meeting from the 21st?
I have the meeting, let's see, when was this? This was August 19th. It was the planning board. And this is where Laval Means and Bob Horn and Kate McMahon, all from Missoula Development Services, came to the planning board and did their own topic learning session. So, topic-based listening session. I'm sorry, not learning session, listening session. And the listening session ended up going on for 3 hours. So this is a non-comprehensive review of the meeting, but we'll basically start it off with Laval Means, and she is just talking about how the listening sessions go. So let's listen to Laval.
With Development Services, I was just going to provide you with a little background refresher from where we were back in March. We came here and laid out the entire public process that we were proposing for the project. And since then, we kicked off the engaging and listening phase in June, early June, and we've been around town talking to community members about what they think Missoula should become. We've been building a website and an online presence as well, and we've been looking for volunteers, recruiting people that might be interested in being in focus groups. We've been available.
Lavelle means basically talking about what they're doing. And here is Bob Horn basically giving his opening statements for the listening session.
We have been through 3 days of listening sessions, and I know you're all familiar with this chart, but I just want to take you through this very quickly. This chart illustrates a very, very extensive community involvement process, and it's only one part of the process. We are here. These listening sessions have been, as Laval says, pretty much topic-based so far. We've had listening sessions with people from aging services, emergency service providers, architects, engineers, that type of folks, environmental folks, that type of thing. As I said, primarily, and she said, primarily topic-based. The information that's generated here, the issues, the assets, the challenges, the things that they identify for us as we take them through the exercise, okay, all get fed into the focus group process. The 6 focus groups are economic health, environmental quality, safety and wellness, livability, housing, and community design. So
Okay,
all this.
so that's Bob Horn, and he is talking about what they're learning from the listening sessions.
Right.
Now,
he kind of gave an overview of what he's going to be talking about for the meeting.
yeah, basically that's it. And
So I'm going to turn up the volume a little bit because he steps away from the microphone.
yes, he does. He's pretty
He's giving a
tall
huge
guy.
presentation.
He's walking around the room. He's trying to get the attention of everybody in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, this is him talking about how in Missoula and in the rest of the cities in Montana, there's a separation between city and county, and that's kind of unusual.
In their growth policy. At the same time, we're updating this one. And we had a gentleman, I think his name was Burton Caldwell. I met him for the first time today. He came to our afternoon session. He shared with us that we talked about how a lot of communities in Montana are taking the classic city-county planning model, and a lot of them had a divorce. Bozeman did it, Great Falls has done it, now Whitefish, Flathead County are doing it, Missoula County, Missoula City are doing it. He said he had just come from Indianapolis, and they're doing just the opposite. They're going through a lot of work to get the city and the county together on the same page. So he thought it was really interesting.
So that's Bob Horn talking about the separation between city and county. And here's John DeBerry on city-county boundaries, finding continuity between the urban forum. So let's hear from John. Let's see here. All right, cool. Let's hear from John.
At the very beginning of the meeting about the values that you've heard from people, my sense is that they're same on this side of the county, of the city-county boundary, as they are on the other side of the city-county boundary. And I think, that the important thing that we should be kind of striving for is some continuity that happens at the edge of the urban growth area. And, that's something that we see time and time again here at Planning Board, and I think that there should be, a pretty overt acknowledgement of the fact that that's really the direction things need to be going, where there's continuity in the urban forum, in the kinds of goals and objectives, as you mentioned, in policies that deal with development at that location.
Okay, so that's John DeBerry talking about the continuity between the city and the county, and the kind of the fringe of the city and how it meets the county and how there should be continuity. And anyways, here's Don MacArthur talking about the city-county edge and how the expansion is really going on in the city and not the county.
It seems like I'm not sure the city growth policy is the right place to deal with this issue. The city is in the business of thinking about how we're going to maybe get more dense, maybe grow some. Some of that growth is going to occur in the county and then become city. But that edge that we're, the expanding thing is the city, not the county.
Sure.
So if we're really talking about where this vision ought to be, it ought to be in the county growth policy. That's the place where the fringe that we're talking about, making sure that the right thing happens there, that's in the county growth policy, not in our growth policy in the city.
Okay, so that's Don MacArthur, and he's talking about how there should be growth in the county on the fringe.
Right.
Here's Greg Oliver talking about the city-county connection. Let's hear from
This connection between the city and the county, morphs or merges in different decades based on different political regimes, different organizational leadership, that sort of thing. And in some ways, I'm pleased with the opportunity that we have right now to nail down a progressive city policy to capture the kinds of ideas that have been there and not to have it watered down as this comprehensive policy. So it's kind of like, let's nail that, get it squared away, and then I figure in several years we'll probably end up merging back again because it seems to go that way. People will see the need for it. But
Greg Oliver talking about sort of
How it's better to be together.
Yeah, and how right now is kind of an opportunity time to work the way it is with the city and the county being separate, but then they'll eventually merge back together.
Yeah.
So here is Don MacArthur. Yeah, this is. Let's see here. This is Nathan Locke, and he's talking about focusing inward, letting the city focus on the city and the county focus on the county.
I was really encouraged to see that it's our Missoula and focus inward, because I think just that you do have some differences between what the county residents want and what the city wants. And now there's been a decision to split the two and let the city focus on the city. And the county can focus on the county. And I mean, certainly anybody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when we look at the wastewater treatment service area versus the city limits, most of that gap is west of Reserve Street.
Okay, so that's Nathan Locke talking about how the city should focus on the city and the county should focus on the county. All right, let's see. Let's pull the next one up. All right, so here is Baum Horn talking about the focus inward is the theme of our growth policy. But what does that focus inward look like? What does that look like? Let's listen to Bob Horn.
Something that I'd like for you to explore just for a little bit, if you don't mind. The focus inward. It's the theme of our growth policy. It has been a consistent theme with the planning work that you've done for at least the last decade.
6 or 7 years.
Okay, just 7 years. Okay, I stand corrected. What does focused inward look like? What does it mean to you? What is your vision of focused inward? What are we looking at? What are we concentrating on? What are we paying attention to? What are we changing? What are our priorities?
Okay, so that's Bob Horn kind of opening up the discussion on what is the focus inward. And then from there, it kind of opens.
There's a lot of buildup with that.
There's a lot of buildup. Yeah, there's a lot of buildup with that one. It's a long meeting, okay? 3 hours is a long meeting.
Yeah, if that's just the buildup.
Yeah, and there was a lot of buildup for a lot of the things that they were saying. But Don MacArthur, he says it's very difficult to live here without a car. How do we get people to live here without a car? And how do we design Missoula in that way? So let's listen to Don MacArthur.
It's a lot about how we increase the density of our housing stock so that it can work also with transit. I mean, how do we get to multimodal transportation options? Not everybody needs to have a car in a vibrant city. We're kind of at that place where it's very difficult to live here without a car. So how do we, get enough housing and enough jobs and enough activity all in the urban core to where you could believably live here without a car? That certainly opens up a lot of possibility for all different income levels to live downtown. Even though the cost of housing may be greater, the cost of housing and transportation may be much less. So I think there's a lot of stuff about redeveloping the housing stock at greater density in transit corridors. There's, if you look at our downtown, there's a ton of gaps in the downtown that are being used for surface parking. How do we fill those in and create greater vibrancy down here and more employment opportunities?
All right, so that's Don MacArthur talking about how do we design the city of Missoula better so that people without cars can get around easier.
Yeah.
And then the next quote is about promoting urban pockets, so urban transportation corridors, so pockets with transportation corridors that are more friendly towards cyclists, walkers, and so on.
About promoting pockets of higher density housing in transit corridors. And the transportation land use thing has come up even here this evening. And of course, the first thing they teach you at planning school about urban systems is there's the reciprocal relationship between transportation and land use. So how do you think that plays out in terms of how we address both the transportation side and the housing side, okay, within transit corridors? And how do we address that in the growth policy?
Okay, so that's again Bob Horn opening up another question about transportation corridors and how do we get it so that's better for the city of Missoula.
Well, there's so many suggestions that I have to increase, just in general, like increase jobs here. Like you have to have like more stores here, and the only way we can actually have more stores here if we have like a mall that is centrally located downtown. Because if you go to like Spokane, they have a mall like downtown. They have an event center downtown.
Yeah.
All their stuff that's downtown, and it's all within walking distance of each other. Give or take 5 or 6 blocks. But like, if we're gonna build like places that are gonna gather a lot of people, that you have to have them somewhat close.
You know what Don MacArthur said, that we have no urban plaza. Like there's really no urban plaza that connects all of the city business, all the downtown businesses together. There's nothing that actually is in downtown. I mean, we have Karis Park, but that's 25 feet below downtown.
Yeah, and we also have, the Clark Fork River Market, all those farmers market that are going on this weekend. Just a little announcement, just like, because it'll go on until October, but then, we need something that's actually like solid, like a indoor-outdoor facility where, these groups can gather. And they just started doing the winter market, but regardless of that, it's just like, there's not a big reason to go downtown. You can't just like go to a shop. You can't go shopping and be like, there's a food place. Oh, let's get a smoothie at this one place, right?
Yeah.
You don't think about that kind of stuff. It's like when they closed Macy's and the Bond, which used to be the Bond, which used to be the old Mercantile building. That's completely empty, and that's like has the perfect building space for many different businesses. It's just that no one wants to take that step forward.
Yeah. Well, here's a good comment that kind of goes right along with that. It's Missoula is the second largest city, but we don't act like it. So let's listen.
No, we're not. I agree.
All right, let's listen to yes.
Don't act like it. I mean, it's just one of those things. The idea of focus inward, to me, is we're building a city, but there's seemingly this disconnect between how people view Missoula and what it is and what it ought to come to be. So, I think, one of the things that is a concern to me is that, as we start redeveloping areas of our community that, places along Brook Street, places along Reserve Street, that we really have this vision of what Missoula is going to be in an urban environment and in a focus inward environment, and I think that's really an important part of the growth policy, is to kind of reach out and think about, well, what when we do redevelopment, what are the the guidelines that get us to where we want to be. You know, do we want to replace Kmart with Kohl's, or do we want something different? And you know what concerns me is that we're going to wait 20 or 30 years for that development to peter out and get bulldozed before we have a chance to kind of actualize some of these kinds of things that we're talking about.
Okay, so that was John DeBari kind of talking about how we don't act like we're the biggest city in Missoula and we don't give ourselves a chance to grow.
Nope.
And okay, so here's the next comment, but it's kind of crucial to get down on paper what the vision of Missoula is going to be.
That's why this process is so important, because it's crucial to get down on paper, essentially, what it is, what our vision is for this place, and so that when people are coming in with projects, they're coming with projects that fit the vision. And as you said just a little while ago, I mean, people are going to actualize this vision parcel by parcel, homeowner by homeowner, developer by developer, and that vision has to be super clear. What is it that we're trying to
John
move?
DeBari. I'm going to end the meeting. There's a lot here. There's 3 hours here, but I'm going to end with a quote from Don Arthur, basically talking about how we have to do both a good job in the city and in the county, because if we do a good job in the city, then it will create better space for the county.
I honestly think that we need a really kick butt event center, like a really cool, awesome event center that's actually located downtown, where people can actually go there and bring money.
Like a convention center.
Like, yeah, events, convention center, just all sorts of stuff. And also it can be an essential hub for information where people can find stuff, because in general, like when there's like a new art gallery that's opening or whatever, even like not to talk bad about the Fringe Fest, but they had an art exhibit, but it was on 3rd Street.
Yeah.
It's like,
I saw that.
And it was just
I went down there. It was a drive.
It was
Nobody knew where it was.
No one knew where it was. Even like if you go down 3rd Street, you're on your way. Like I was on my way to a good food store, and then like I saw the sign and like the giant like a owl statue.
It's Ganesh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Same thing. Anyways. But yeah, it was just like it was in a warehouse. It's just like, oh, it's art gallery, and okay, it's conveniently located 5-6 miles that way in a warehouse. Oh. It's
Yeah,
like going to the American Legion or.
We need better signage, wayfinding.
Oh. That can only do so much.
Yeah.
It's like, then you got too many signs that go, hey, you see where I'm pointing? That's cool.
Yeah. Well, let's listen to this last quote from Don MacArthur, because it kind of sums up a lot of what they're talking about. And it's about how if we improve the city, it will only improve the county, and how we focus inward, it will keep the outward valuable.
Yeah.
So let's listen to Don MacArthur.
Other thing, sort of dovetailing to what you were saying, Greg, is that when I think about the city and the county, the boundary line. I mean, it's not really city and county for me. It's sort of urbanized area and rural area. And the ideal, I think, for me, is that we do a great job in both, and that they're the yin and yang of each other. I mean, they're interconnected, and doing a great job of creating a dynamic urbanized area allows us to do a great job of a rural area that supports all the reasons that many of us live in Montana. So, that sort of question about how we put that into the city growth policy, that part of the reason we want to focus inwards is to make sure that the county can have the right rural look. I mean, it's interconnected, and that whole system is all together. So I think it's important that the city growth policy says those things. That we're part of the reason we want to focus inward is so that there is an outward that is still valuable to us.
All right, so that's Don MacArthur basically talking about how we need to focus inward so that our outward is still valuable.
Yeah. And, we also need to concentrate on inward to get people from outward to come to our inward.
Yeah.
And therefore make it a lot better for everyone to actually have a reason to come inward, because coming inward is very hard But then going outward, like most people live outwards. Most
Yeah.
people, commute. Missoula County, Florence, Frenchtown, they commute to Missoula. And most of them don't even have the need to go downtown. They just go to like the outskirts, like all these little places that are on the outskirts. And I just wanted to say that my opinions don't express Charter Communications, Missoula Community Access Television, and the City of Missoula. And then I think that the whole rule about not having, because in Missoula, downtown area, you're not supposed to have chain stores. It's supposed to be all local. All downtown is all local. And if we're gonna be the kind of city that has all the amenities that a lot of other cities have, then we might have to rethink about the way we perceive
Our downtown planning.
our downtown planning in terms of businesses and inviting businesses to come on down. I mean, we are considered the second biggest city
We are
behind
the biggest
Billings.
cities. Yeah.
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 And surprisingly enough, like we a lot of people, like, the misconception is that we're the same size as Bozeman, but Bozeman is we got like 30,000 people on Bozeman.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we've got a bigger city. We're expected to get 10,000 more people within the next 10 years or 15 years, and we got to focus on what they want, but we also should know what we want as well.
What we want. I mean, I mean, like, the first step, we should have a kick butt. I want to say the the other word, but I would say we need a kick butt event center. We need a place where, Missoula's becoming the hub for a lot of bands to come through between Seattle, Spokane, even Boise, Idaho, all the way to
Denver,
Minneapolis.
yeah, we're
Like, it's the hub between Minneapolis and Seattle,
Portland.
even Bismarck, North Dakota. Like, they're increasing they're bigger. They're twice the size of Missoula is Bismarck, North Dakota.
Really? I didn't think they were.
Well, I looked it up. We looked at it all. I mean, like, me and Joel Baird, the general manager, looked it up. Bismarck, North Dakota, and it was like, apparently it's a pretty bustling city of North Dakota. Well, it's But that being said, I just think that the first step is a really cool event center that promotes people to come down. Like, look how well the Wilma's been doing.
Yeah.
The Wilma, it's like promoting concerts. A lot of great musicians have been there, just touring through, and the Wilma is like the great venue, but it doesn't demand for the kind of space that we would have. Like, we use the Adams Center. I mean, we use the Grizzly Stadium for Paul McCartney, and this is the first time he ever played here, and it's ever growing. And so Missoula needs to step up their game for venue-wise, because it's a great industry, and the city of Missoula will make a lot of money so they can pay for the roads.
Yeah.
After winter. What do you think, Asaph?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting, Scott. And
I mean,
this was a non-comprehensive view of the meeting. The meeting was 3 hours long, and you can you can see the meeting by going on to City of Missoula's website.
Yeah, you can see the whole entire meeting by logging on the City of Missoula, going under the tabs of the planning board. Let's just go through the process.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll go through mine. So you go on here, you have a blank page, and then I have a tab. But you can type in City of Missoula. Oh, go ahead.
All right, City of Missoula. Let me spell it right.
Just as simple as that.
City of Missoula. This pops up.
Boom. Click on it, and then you get your nice little homepage of City of Missoula. Go to your government.
Agendas, webcast, minutes.
Yep. And then you wait a second because it looks like there's nothing there, and then it'll pop up below.
And then here's where I found the planning board meeting. So I go to planning board.
You go to agenda. You click on the agenda tab because it shows you the agenda to the left and the video to the right.
And here's the video and it's 3 hours long. So if you are interested in sort of the growth policy of the city, then you have plenty to look forward to by watching this video. But you can also go to one of the meetings, which then again the next meeting is Tuesday, September 9th, what's this spam doing? Tuesday, September 9th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the Lifelong Learning Center. And there's also...
And that's at 310 South Curtis Street.
310 South Curtis. And then the next one after that is the Wednesday after, September 10th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the Southgate Mall Community Room, which, as you know where the Southgate Mall is, 2901 Brook Street. So yeah, you can get involved and talk about, give your opinion and perspective on the city's growth and how you want the city to change.
Yep.
Or evolve to be a better city.
But don't be like Inspector Gadget. Because it was Penny and Brain who solved all the cases. But right now, I just closing statement, kick butt, event center.
Yeah.
Missoula.
I agree
City of
with that.
Missoula needs to start looking into more a business sense of mind, if you know what I mean. Like, we want to get tourists to come through and spend money and all that stuff, but we also need create an event center in a way where the city of Missoula can profit off of, try going up against the Wilma and the University of Montana on
Or the
par.
Top Hat.
Yeah.
Top Hat gives a lot of people. Yeah, and I think something like that, like an urban plaza or something that brings all the businesses together.
I mean that's the concept of the Fort Missoula Regional Park, is that they want to be able to build this park where it brings people down, and then when they can sell tickets to, softball sporting events, which, we don't have the adequate fields for in terms of, but I digress. There's just a lot of stuff that I think in terms of building inwards, Missoula in general just needs to build things that would profit. Just in general, like event center. That's like the first step. Is like any big city, really big city, has the event center. Like look at Billings. They had the Kibidome. That's in Moscow. But they have that big event center that, like, of course there was a tornado that kind of blew a lot of it away like 5 years ago, but they repaired it. But that's an event center. They have rodeos there. They make a lot of money through that place.
Cool.
So what we definitely need that here. But just saying. But here's another video by Rick Phillips. He did some more art from the Missoula Art Museum, because there's a lot of art going on up there, and especially since First Friday is coming up in September, and I don't know who's going to be doing it here at MCAT, but we'll keep you updated. We'll be right back.
change. Where's MCAT channel 7 and 11?
Batman, that's why I called you here. MCAT's changing their channels to 189 and 190.
Are you joking me?
No, I'm Commissioner Gordon. The Joker jokes.
We've been banished from the other channels.
No, we're just moving to channels 189 to 190.
Do you have a cough drop?
Yeah, maybe I can. Think.
Doc, what's up?
Mort, it's MCAT. When you see MCAT channel 711 change to channels 189 to 190, you're gonna see some serious stuff.
Doc, are you telling me that MCAT channel 7 and 11 is gonna be channel 189 and 190?
Precisely.
That's heavy.
Great Scott! With what?
MCAT channel 7 and 11 is becoming channel 189 and 190? That's impossible!
All right. And there, I just want to say that we have a huge channel change coming, and that's happening on Tuesday, August 26th. And that's when everything is going to change with Charter Communications. So we're no longer going to be part of channel 7 and 11. We're going to be channel 189 and 190. And we'll be bunched up with Big Sky, Altitude, and a couple of those KUFM, PBS. We'll all be kind of pushed up there.
Huh.
Into the 180s.
180s, 190. Yeah.
Yeah. So look out for us. You can look at our website at mcat.org.
.org, and again, you can, if you want to reach us, it's WUMMCAT, right?
At gmail.com.
It's not womb.
But you can also email us at our general inbox, which is mcat@mcat.org. You can just email us there, and if you're interested in being on our show talking about your event that's coming up, and if you're a musician and in a band, you're welcome to come down and jam with Asaph, or play one of your famous songs for your band. If you guys are having a performance coming up, that's great. We always loved having a band on here. We haven't had a band on here for a while.
We had Miss Liss in the Magical Uke. That was great.
That was the last guest, and that was for the Fringe Fest, and she was on like a month ago.
Yeah, we need some more music on here for sure. But we've got a great musician, so.
And he's also going to be doing a show coming up pretty soon, and he's doing it at the Governor's Room.
Yeah, the Governor Ballroom. It's a remake of the Lawrence Welk show called Music with Asaph. So I'm looking forward to it.
That sounds great. You like the way you sounded,
totally sold us on that. That was great.
Well, I think I'm very humble, so I think it's meant for me to attempt this. I'll have fun with it. Think of it as Lawrence Welk, the next generation.
And you got the mayor too to come down and hang.
Well, yeah, I'm going to see him Tuesday. Just talk to him further about it. I want him to open this show and start it off.
Wow.
So that'd be way cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
And just another warning that there is indeed a flood watch in effect at noon today, and it's going to last for 24 hours. So if you're going to get out and about, make sure you bring an umbrella, or if you're from Seattle or Portland, you're used to it.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's pretty much it for our show. I mean, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, Josh. Asaph.
Thank you. My pleasure. I'm going to lose our way out of here.
So for Wake Up Missoula, I'm Scott Ramph.
I'm Josh Minnie.
And
I am Asaph Adonai.
All right, thanks.